Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first really official episode of a chat with Beuhlig. This is not really what I wanted to do with this series, as you may have noticed by now if you're watching this in real time, since I posted the last one was months ago. So what I planned to do with this series was to live stream it, to have topics and stuff, but I've been having a hard time finding topics that I want to talk about for other than just more for like a minute or two, and I didn't really think I could do this for like long periods of time and such. And so my sibling had the idea to record the discussions that we have constantly. Like we're constantly as we're pacing around the dining room table, we discuss things, and this is one of those times. We were actually discussing the death of the local news industry. You know how newspapers that local newspapers that wasn't able to get to the jump to the internet have pretty much died off. How tech companies want to use the free broadband AM radio wave and use that for internet, and how that's going to kill off local news and such. And so we were discussing this, and I came up with the idea of maybe tech companies like Apple and Google, they have like Apple News and Google News on their devices. Why don't we just have a way where either not really like force them to, but like have like a consortium between like Apple, Google, Microsoft, Facebook, Flipboard, like have a consortium where these companies come together and be like, we want to fix the local news industry, not like as like in a way to like get it to where local news is more accessible to more people. Because what we had discussed was that the founding fathers of the United States really had it in mind where they would care more about local news, and people would elect local leaders, and the local government would elect like the U.S. senators and such. And we were like discussing this, and we came on the topic of local news and such. And so I had came up with the idea for um, this, and like have like a consortium to where like they could like come out with like this way where like they could help local news. They came up with this way where like local news could that don't have like local newspapers and local magazines that don't have uh, the way to like make a website. They could uh, work with like this consortium to like create one API so that Apple News or Google News or Microsoft News or Flipboard could like adopt this API to get local news into it. And after we had this discussion, we were like, hey, we should probably record this. So this is the recording that we have. I did edit out as many of the spaces and pauses and ums as I could, but hope you enjoy. This is the first official episode of A Chat with Beuhlig, and let's get right into it.
Everybody, when they start out, their content looks really amateur. But then, as you get an audience, and as you then start to have the money flowing in, whether through Patreon or through ad dollars, you then can make your content more